Hello, and welcome back to the Ladies Wrestling Grio Podcast. This week, we are going to jump right into it. I really wanted to talk about a really great title run that I'm seeing right now that has not finished yet, so there is a lot more, I'm pretty sure, exciting matches to come. I want to talk about the title run of Athena right now as she is holding the Ring of Honor World Women's Championship. I think over this past year, Athena has had one of the best transitions to another promotion. And I think that there has been a consistency with keeping her on TV, having great matches, and really having her appeal to a different promotion. But I think the awesome thing this really speaks to Athena's immense talent and ability to really draw audience is that, especially when you see a lot of people trying to create this alliance that you either have to have with AEW or WWE. I think this is a great example of how people just see a wrestler that has a lot of talent and can bring a lot to the table in the promotion, and that's really all they're focused on. So it's been really cool to see that with Athena, that she has been able to seamlessly come into AEW first and then segue into going into the Ring of Honor brand and being on their weekly show, defending her title. And the fans never had an issue completely being satisfied with her now being under that brand. So in this episode, I really want to go over what I feel has been a tremendous reign as champion, and her championship starting with this amazing heel turn that she took. So we're just gonna backtrack for a second and think about in May of 2022. Athena coming into AEW and essentially starting a new chapter in her career, but in many ways going back to her roots, which was Athena being such a megastar on the indie scene prior to signing with WWE, prior to being at NXT. And I feel like with her going to AEW, it was just going back to what she knew she could do and what she was confident that she can still do in her career, and getting the chance to do that. And since May of 2022, Athena just came into the gate in AEW, really showing that she was going to be top tier in the women's division. Starting out with, I feel, working with someone like Jade Cargill. And I think that that was a really good choice as one of her first competitors to have, because as we see, Jade certainly has the it factor, but even as she has stated, she needs to be with someone that can be more of an in-ring general and really help to build her up because they are more experienced than her. And of course, Athena certainly fits in that category of being someone that can really put on a good match with anyone, and make it entertaining, because I think that Jade brought the mic skills and the entertainment factor into their feud, but Athena showed that she could keep with making sure that Jade looked like $1,000,000 in the ring with her when they actually had the chance to compete with one another. And I thought that was a really cool way to bring Athena in. We saw that over the past few months leading to her getting to the point where she was going to hold the Ring of Honor Women's Championship, that Athena was really showing what she could do, possibly to a new audience, maybe more of an audience that was just watching AEW on shows like AEW Dark, on Dynamite, where she was really showing what she can do. And I think that easily the fans saw that they could be a fan of hers. But you kind of saw this rumbling, especially with Athena's wrestling style, that they probably would have been okay with her turning heel. And I think that the moment that I'm going to speak about literally led to her being able to easily transition to a heel. And that's when she had a match with local talent in the area where they perform at. And there was huge controversy over Athena apparently being too rough with that wrestler. And it's funny because the actual wrestler that she was competing against was so happy and honored to be in the ring with Athena that after the match aired, she went on social media to express how happy she was to have that opportunity to fight in AEW and to go against Athena. But even then, the fans still felt like she was a bit too stiff with her. And I think that Athena really took the opportunity and probably campaigned for wanting to switch heel because it was right there with the fans that are really upset with her, feeling like she was too rough of a wrestler. I think she wanted to completely lean into that and just have that morph into her character. And honestly, I think it's been a great move for her, and it certainly has determined how we see her as a champion so far. As throughout her reign so far, she has been a tremendous heel. So let's get right into Athena's title run. These matches are in no order. Just want to discuss some of her defenses that she had, but we have to start out with how Athena got the title. Now we know that Tony Khan bought Ring of Honor, and when it was bought, we didn't know exactly what was going to happen with Ring of Honor, but luckily, it seemed from the get-go, from when it was announced that Ring of Honor was going to have possibly their own show. Obviously, the titles were going to be defended that we know and loved because I'm a huge Ring of Honor fan. It was really exciting to see that not long after the bit of the hiatus that that Ring of Honor took around say around the early part of 2022, that immediately after it was bought, we started to see Ring of Honor come back. And one of the titles that we saw come back was the World Women's title. And I think that it was an amazing choice to make Mercedes Martinez the champion. I think that with her holding the title, but then really showing what Ring of Honor could do with the women's title. Well, AEW programming was really good. I really feel, I mean, I can't know for sure, but especially with Mercedes' personality and what she has projected in interviews, that it's a big thing for her to always make sure that she's passing the torch and making sure that women's wrestling as a whole is left with a lot of options on who could be the next star, the next up-and-coming talent. And I feel that she proved that with her Ring of Honor Women's Championship reign, when most of the time when she was defending her title, she was really trying to build up some new talent and really show that they have what it takes to go further. And I really like that because it was really, I feel, trying to set the stones of or the steps to what Ring of Honor would continue to do with having women on their program and when they eventually brought the weekly show back. And I think it was a brilliant title reign. And I think it just fate that Athena came to AEW at the time that Mercedes had the title, and they were able to collide again. So this is the first match I'm going to talk about in Athena's title reign. Athena versus Mercedes Martinez. This match was so awesome because, just like I said, Mercedes was such a strong champ, and she was certainly keeping up with the legacy of the women that either performed in Ring of Honor but never held the title, and then the women who were able to actually have Ring of Honor gold. Both women are not strangers to Ring of Honor, and I thought with this match, they really showed that there's a strong legacy of women in Ring of Honor that will always have their place with the Ring of Honor history. And I think you could see in this match that coming from WWE and sometimes feeling a bit stunted in her growth. And I think this actually applies to both women. You could really see the hunger that they both had to have a great match, but I think it was felt a bit more with Athena because she was challenging for the title. And I feel that that was many times an uphill battle for Athena in WWE to be able to get the title and to be in the running for it. So to come into the gate where they're really trying to build that Ring of Honor again, and for her to be challenging for the title was certainly probably like a really good sign to Athena that she was in the right place at the right time with coming to AEW. And I loved that Ring of Honor throughout this pay-per-view really leaned on the history that Athena and Mercedes have from competing in Shimmer Wrestling. And I have certainly been a fan of the series of matches that Mercedes and Athena had in the past in Shimmer. I think that those matches are not only great matches, but they're things that you can, matches that you can certainly point to when you're talking about what really led to people taking women's wrestling in America in the 2000s to late 2000s, especially when we weren't seeing that on major television programming in America. You saw it on the indies, and Athena and Mercedes were certainly a part of that, and their feud should definitely be a part of those conversations of really great indie women's matches. I think that those matches matter to fans like me, and I'm happy to see that it's not erased, and that it was brought into this feud, that these women had history and they're still unfinished business. And when Athena comes out, she gets a huge pop, and that really goes to show where the fans are kind of leaning. And I think that Athena hearing that hero's welcome certainly put some wind underneath her sails and make her feel really confident going into this match. And even though the fans are totally here for Athena, Mercedes, as usual, is unfazed by this, and she's just going for what she knows, which is to take out her competitor at any way that she needs to. And let's make it clear, of course, Mercedes could feel like she is going to win, but at the same time, both of these women have such a brutal style that they're both coming in with the same mentality, so we know it's not going to be a walk in the park for Mercedes. And after the bell rings, Mercedes throws a hard slap, and Athena and Mercedes start to equally dish out some heavy blows back to back. Athena really used this match to show off and toy with the crowd at Mercedes. And whether it was attempted power bombs off the ropes or anything, or flips to the other side of the ring, Athena was really showing off what she could do. And I thought it was really cool, especially because during Mercedes' title run, she had some great competitors, but usually Mercedes was fully in charge of those matches, and it was hard to see whether her competitors were going to actually be victorious in the matches, and that was not the case in this match. The match certainly kept going back and forth and switching hands. And even with the times when Athena would get the heads up or the leg up, the champ was still laser focused, and she refused to feel like she could lose. And you see, and you will start to see this be a tactic for Athena when she actually gets the title, is that she really plays into making sure that not only is she taunting her opponent, but she will taunt the fans to really get them riled up. And I always enjoy that. Especially because sometimes I feel like it's not as commonplace now, that a lot of wrestlers sometimes don't play to the crowd and really get them riled up or against them or even for them during the matches. And I think that Athena does a really good job of making sure that she's making it an immersive experience with seeing her matches. But even with the taunting, even with her getting the leg up, is really hard to knock down someone like Mercedes. This is why she had the title for as long as she did. And you see with even with Athena's taunting, with the front face locks, and I mean vicious brain buster, it was still wasn't enough to bring Athena down. And you see that even though you can't visibly see Mercedes getting upset or feeling in some way that she's defeated, you must know that in her mind, when you constantly keep seeing Athena come back from these vicious attacks, that she might feel like this might be the time that she might be throned from holding that Ring of Honor's title. And Athena drives Mercedes into the side of the ring during the middle of the match. And this was to take Mercedes out, but she just kept getting up like the Terminator. A power bomb on the ground from Mercedes takes Athena out for a bit. She was getting called out for a bit of that time before she got the strength to get into the ring. And both women just showed that neither could afford to lose this match. And you start to see that Athena starts to lose her cool a bit during this match. She's taking the turnbuckle cover off. She's pulling on her hair, and Athena rams her knees into Mercedes' head and gets the opportunity to hit her finisher. And this is what causes her to win the women's title in her hometown. And when you see that she wins that title and the bell rings, immediately you see a very emotional side of Athena, as she is very, very honored to be able to win the title in her hometown, have family and friends at ringside. And this just, at this event, really cements that Athena is at the top of the mountain for the women's division in Ring of Honor, and that this is a new era. So then we start going into Athena's title defenses. I'm going to start out with Athena versus Marina Shafira. And I think that this was a really good match because it's really showing a display of Athena's many different styles that she has and how she can pretty much compete with anyone and truly hold her own and still feel really confident when she's fighting these women that have an immense amount of different styles on display. And Athena comes out to the ring. She's extremely cocky while holding her shiny title. Marina is chopping at the bit to take it to Athena. And many times, and I think in this match, I think that Marina's eagerness to want to take it to her competitor did not work in her favor. And Athena comes out, she extends her hand as they usually do in matches to show that sign of respect. But Marina's having no part in that, and she moves Athena's hand away. She immediately tries to take Athena to the ground. This causes Athena to grab hold of the bottom rope and to get her bearing. She even goes to the outside of the ring and calls the timeout. This allows Athena to come back to the ring and try to get the upper hand. In many parts of this match, you see that experience and know-how of Athena on how she knows that when it's getting a bit heated in the ring and she does not want her competitor to take control, she will create some type of distraction or some type of way for her to get out of the ring, to gather herself and to think about what to do next. And that certainly worked in this match. Even with Athena trying to go out to the ring in this match, Marina is still really relentless in her pursuit of the champion. It's not until Athena utilizes the ring skirt that really shifts the power in this match, when Marina really was on top of Athena in this match. And I will say that was a really good strategy, because as you see with Athena, if you give her a minute to counter something, then she's certainly going to have the control. So Athena really had to be quick on her feet to always come with a counter, because you're dealing with someone in Marina that specializes in always having a counter for something. So you have to be 10 steps ahead of her to have any type of control. And Athena does have moments where she's distracted by Marina's manager at the time, Vicky Guerrero. And this gives Marina a chance to lock in an arm grip and a chance for Athena to show her strength by picking her up with one arm to powerbomb her. So not only do you see the smarts of Athena fully be on display, as she's always creating some type of way to get out of a hold, to get out of possibly being pinned or tapped out by Athena, but you also see Athena's immense strength that she has on display. After Marina kicks out, Athena gets out of the ring again, and she takes her belt and she tries to leave the arena. Marina will have any of it, and she brings her back to the ring, and she puts Athena in a chokehold. Marina locks in the chokehold a second time after Athena throws her to the ropes. But this second attempt spells disaster for Marina because she falls from the bottom rope onto Athena's back, and she takes the brunt of it. Every time Shafira thinks that she can out-wrestle Athena, Athena outsmarts her. And Athena takes this out of the ring and drives her knees into the face of Marina and then onto the steel steps and then quickly grabs a pin. And you can see the shock that Marina has when she realizes that she has lost the title. And that's why I really wanted to pinpoint this match, because I feel that with someone like Marina that is obviously has a strong MMA background, to face someone like Athena, I really think that Marina thought that it was going to be a bit of an imbalance with Athena being able to get out of holds, with Athena not having the same strength as Marina, and she saw that that was not the case. But then you really see that pro wrestling experience that Athena has, and also just being very good at creating distractions, creating ways out of things that really, I think, threw Marina for a loop. So I thought this was a very strong showing for the champ. And it really showed how Athena is always thinking of how to make sure that at the end of the day, she leaves with the title. The next match that I'm going to go to is Athena versus Yuka Sakazaki. And I thought that this was a great match because it goes back to Ring of Honor really making sure that they're showing that great relationship that they have with promotions in Japan. And I think over this run of Ring of Honor, this particular chapter in Ring of Honor, we're seeing that great relationship that Ring of Honor has with a lot of Joshi wrestling promotions. So, and bringing top Joshi wrestlers over to really face off with the best of the women in Ring of Honor. So it's been really cool to see. So in this match with Athena versus Yuka, we see Athena come in once again as the champ, super confident. I mean, pretty much bordering on cocky. And Athena's goal, as she said in a pre-tape interview, was to make Yuka disappear. And she even called her a porcelain hussy. So we see there's a lot of animosity that Athena has coming to this match. And I love that there was reference to the Tokyo Dojo wrestling promotion that Yuka is a part of. And to really see that because it's a Ring of Honor crowd, they certainly know Yuka's background. So they were totally here for her, and they just gave her a huge pop when she came out. So it was really cool to see because it raised the stakes of the match when you have fans that really know the background of a wrestler coming in for a show like this, for a pay-per-view like this. So when Athena comes out, you really see this cool close-up that they have a porcelain doll right on the entrance ramp. And suddenly, as you get that close-up of the doll, a foot comes to crush the doll, and they pan out and you see a darker, aggressive Athena laughing as she destroyed the doll. So we know going into this, we have the goddess versus the magic girl in this match. And even with that clear sign of disrespect from Athena, you still have that traditional ring of honor respect where both women shake hands, they give each other that respect right before they get into it. And the action immediately kicks up, and Yoka isn't intimidated by Athena's taunting, and she doesn't take it, personally. She just continues to stay laser focused, and she takes this competition head on. And as much as Yoka brings it in this match, Athena really shines with having a counter for everything that Yoka brings. And I must say, though, there was a really scary moment when it kind of seemed like Yoka hit her head on the outside of the ring, and she's kind of lying in the ring trying to get her bearings as Athena's trying to lift her up. And you can kind of see that for a moment, Athena wanted to make sure she still stayed within character, but she gave Yoka a second to, kind of get her bearings back. So that was a bit of a scary moment because you didn't know if that could possibly lead to Yoka having a concussion. And I think throughout the match, you still see her, even though she got up, she still put on a tremendous match, that she was kind of still recovering from hitting her head. So that kind of scared me as a fan when I saw that. It seemed like it was a bit hard for her to get up at one point. But Yoka's a tough cookie, and she makes a comeback. And Athena shows that sheer strength, once again, that she possesses by countering a move that Yoka was trying to do from the top rope by catching her and hitting her with not one, not two, but 3 power bombs. And Sasaki looks hurt again, but she keeps kicking out and going on. A brutal drop on Yoka's head on the ground next to the ring really makes you feel so bad for her, and you kind of just want the match to end so that she doesn't get hurt further. And you can feel the crowd just hating Athena because of the pain that she's putting Yoka through. But Yoka gets her revenge back quite quickly as she takes it to Athena by throwing her into the guard post, staircase, and ring ramp. You can feel that maybe the tide is turning. Maybe Yoka might win this and return to the Tokyo Dojo wrestling promotion with the Ring of Honor World Women's Championship. However, Athena is able to hit the O-face finisher from the top rope to get the win. So it wasn't like it was an easy win for Athena, but she certainly was able to take it home. And I think this is one of the best matches, title defenses that Athena has had so far. And it certainly showed why Athena still holds that title. So this probably, whenever, Athena doesn't hold the title anymore, I think when people are looking back at her title reign, this match was certainly going as one of the strongest showings of her as a champion. So let's move on to another great match that Athena's had so far, and that is her match against Willow Nightingale. In this match, Willow has made it clear that she is going to prove that she is not just the adorable, infectious, cute Willow that we know and that we love. She has bled for the wrestling world. She has really shown a different side of herself at AEW in certain matches where you really saw that that sheer strength that she has, that brutal side that she has with being in hardcore matches, and that she will continue to do things like that until she is the Ring of Honor World Women's Champion. And let's not forget that before Ring of Honor changed management, Willow was in the women's tournament in 2021, and she was very close to holding the Ring of Honor Women's title. So that must play into Willow's aspirations going forward with the company, and feeling like that title is within grasp and how she's just itching to hold that gold. And of course, Athena knows this. And early in this match, she taunts Willow. But Willow is usually, and it's on display in this match, usually unshaken and still confident in her pursuit in any match, because she knows that usually she has the odds stacked against her. But she always has an internal confidence that always captures the crowd. And Athena has control of the match during the beginning and really solidified that, this was her ring. She was going to be in charge and really working on Willow's left arm. But even through that, Willow pulls through from her endless energy and uses her strength to lay Athena out for a bit. This is one of the first times that Athena has had to face someone that has the same amount of strength as her, in my opinion. The Fujiwara submission hold almost takes Willow out of the match towards the middle. A pounce, which I love that Willow does, one of my favorite moves, gives the crowd hope that maybe, just maybe, she might be able to get the gold. Even a vicious powerbomb still doesn't get Athena to surrender. Athena quickly gets out of the ring and pretends to leave. Once again, a huge pattern that we see with Athena whenever she knows that she is about to lose. And recently, when I was watching NXT, I saw in a match that Carmelo Hayes was having that he's been using that tactic a lot too, and it has saved him many times. So Athena's doing the same thing, so I can't blame her for knowing that at any cost, she needs to hold that title. So if it feels like it might be getting close and she knows if she stays in the ring, she's certainly going to get pinned, leave that ring. And she certainly did that in this match. And this falls right into Athena's plan with walking up the ramp, trying to pretend that she's going to leave, and Willow follows her up the ramp as she predicted. And Athena picks up Willow and throws her into the steel entrance ramp. And as Willow is going down the ramp, Athena decides to throw her into the stairs, and then she hits her finisher, the O-face, to get the win. This was a match where you saw a very calculated champion, and it's hard whenever you see Willow have these matches and she does not win, because she's so worthy to hold a championship, and whether it's Ring of Honor or AEW, that sometimes is really hard when you see how talented Willow is and she doesn't get that. But she is in the running, so who's to say that she may not have another a challenge to be able to challenge for the title and actually get it? I mean, who knows? So I'm hoping that very soon down the line, Willow can get another opportunity, because I think she's so ready to take it to that level. But I do like that they're always hinting, whether it be AEW or Ring of Honor, that probably soon they're really forming that that desire for fans to really want Willow to be the champion, which is the most important, especially because she is a babyface. She's really going to need that that fandom pushing for her to be the champ, because then she can have a very long, successful title reign if she really has that fan support behind her. And every promotion that Willow goes into, she becomes a fan favorite. So I think, needless to say, that more than likely she will hold that title soon. But this was a really great match that once again showed what Willow can do and really cemented how calculated Athena is as a champion. So let's get into the last match that I think really solidified Athena as a great champion. And this was her match against Miyu Yamashita. Miyu is known as the ace of TJPW in Japan. So needless to say, this was one of Athena's strongest competitors that she has had to face so far. Both women shake hands before locking up, so you see that sign of respect. Arm holds by both women are made to get the advantage, but they both just keep easily sliding out of it, so no one's really getting the advantage in the beginning. Miyu seems very calm and calculated as she delivers some hard-ass kicks early on to Athena that kind of makes you feel that Athena's going to have her work cut out for her throughout this match. The control is definitely switched to Miyu's favor, and Athena tries to take control by going out to the ramp to buy time. Just like I said, a reoccurring pattern and strategy of Athena's. And I think that maybe Miyu possibly did a bit of research on Athena, because it seemed like every time Athena tried to use some type of distraction or way to get out of the ring, Miyu really stayed on her to make sure that she didn't get an advantage. And I think this was the first time that you really think that Athena might lose her title, especially with the prestige that Miyu holds, and also the execution of all of her matches, that you really felt like maybe Ring of Honor might be switching hands of who's going to hold the title. But a Boston Crab and an ankle lock seemed to put Miyu out toward the middle of the match. But you see that she makes a comeback with a kick to the back of Athena's head and a German suplex that causes Athena to run out of the ring again and walk up the ramp. So you see the same tactics throughout Athena's matches that many times does work for her. And this causes the match to see some interest ramp action, and Miyu gets the upper hand when she throws Athena from her shoulders directly on the entrance ramp. Even after that, Athena digs deep, and you can see that she's really trying to unleash some hell onto Miyu and hits a cannonball off of the entrance ramp onto Miyu. And of course, that gets a huge pop. The fans are cheering. And somehow, both women make it back to the ring. And honestly, as a fan, you think it could go either way, with both women, of course, probably being completely beat up at this point. And a face lock from Athena threats to take Miyu out. Miyu reaches for the top ropes, but Athena brings her down to the middle. The ref calls for the bell when it's apparent that Miyu can't breathe from the face lock that Athena has. And I thought that was so important to show how effective Athena can be with putting on some submission holds. And that certainly was the case in this match and helped her to get the victory. So it wasn't Athena trying to use one of her tactics of leaving the ring. It was actually her putting on a hell of a face lock and making sure that she kept Miyu in the middle of the ring that allowed her to win this match and to cause Miyu to tap out. And I think with making Miyu tap out, I think that really added to Athena's confidence that she could take down someone that literally is an ace in her promotion. But she took her out in such a way that I think really just added to the cockiness and the boldness of Athena as a champ. So that was really cool to see. And even when the bell rings, Athena still holds on for dear life and tries to keep the hold in as much as she can. The ref eventually gets Athena off of Miyu, and when Athena gets her title back, she holds onto that belt for dear life. So even though I believe that this match added to the confidence of Athena, I think because of the type of competition that she received from Miyu, this was the first time that you saw that she probably started getting nervous about who could possibly take the title from her and if that would happen soon. So a really good match. And once again, I love seeing the pairing of or the partnerships between Ring of Honor and the different Japanese wrestling promotions that have had a long-standing, and even the new partnerships that you see with a lot of new and upcoming Japanese promotions with Ring of Honor. It helps to keep that international appeal that Ring of Honor fans have had, where they see their favorites from other promotions actually come in to wrestle their favorites from Ring of Honor. So this was another great match displaying that. And right now, we have where Athena is still holding the title, but she does have to face some steep competition with the women in Ring of Honor right now. One of them being Lady Frost. Lady Frost could really be a strong contender for the title. Like I said, Willow Nightingale might get another opportunity. I'm hoping that she does. They just really started pushing Sky Blue. So you have a lot of women that are now starting to get a lot of opportunities in Ring of Honor's weekly show. So we don't know who she might face next. But one thing is for sure is that they've really been keeping Ring of Honor a high quality level of talent actually facing off against Athena. And this just speaks to how strong her reign is and how she was a great follow-up to Mercedes Martinez holding the title. So I'm happy to see, what comes next for Athena, because she's really been putting that work in as a strong champion to hold that title. So I think that that's going to continue. And it was great talking about this title reign, because I have been for the longest time a huge fan of Athena. I'm a huge fan of her when she was in WWE and NXT. So to see her go to AEW, then now really trying to lay the tracks for creating a strong weekly show with Ring of Honor, it's really been awesome to see that Athena consistently has strong title reigns or runs in whatever promotion that she is, that just goes to speak to her talent. So if you haven't seen these matches yet, I really recommend that you do. It's just been a great title run for her so far. So we are still within May, and there will be some great content continuing to come through. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope you check out those matches from Athena if you haven't yet, and really support Ring of Honor's weekly show, because they have been putting on some great content over the past few months. So please do that. But I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that you come back for our next show next week. And enjoy wrestling.